Hey guys, it's your buddy Rome. So in this video, we're going to take a look at a product that I think every action camera enthusiast, professional is going to need at some point or another. Whether you're working with a mirrorless camera, whether you're working with a drone or an action camera, one of the issues that we encounter quite often out in the wild is uncontrollable light. So I was sent out these ND filters and a CPL to test out to use with some of my action cameras. So I'm going to show you guys in this video how to actually utilize these ND filters, the different type of ND filters that come with this little set. So starting out, let's take a look at exactly what we get in the box. Now, what I like about this box, it has the nice little magnets on here. So when you pull this open, you can feel that magnet. I popped out one of our ND filters, but I'll show you guys one of these. Now, these ND filters are from Start RC. This is the CPL. Hopefully you guys can see that. That is our CPL. Now, this is going to be great for dealing with reflections or, if you're working with water or around glass or anything like that. Your standard ND filters are what you're more concerned with when it comes to exposure. So you're going to have a variety of these different ND filters. Now, this is an ND8. It should also give us a, let's just make sure, yes, ND16. So here is our ND16. And we also receive an ND32. Now, on my drone, in most cases, I'm using an ND32 because of the shutter speed and the fact that I'm flying a lot of times in, very, very bright environments. Now, the way these work with most action cameras, you're just going to pop them over the lens. But a lot of the DJI cameras, as well as the Extra Edge Pro, is going to come with this little rubber that you guys see right here. You're just going to remove that from the lens. And now you'll be able to take your ND filter, and it doesn't matter how you put this on because this, it's nothing to adjust. You're just going to pop this guy on like so. And now you have your ND filter on your action camera, ready to go out into the bright sunlight or whatever the case it is you're going to be working in. Now, when would this be effective? Let me show you guys here, and we'll also go outside and take a look at it as well. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this camera on. And you guys hopefully are able to see that the video quality on here looks really good because it is white balance for this room, the lighting and everything that I have on. But let's just say we were going to be outdoors and I was going to be setting this in a manual type of setup. And say, for instance, I wanted to shoot at, 24 frames a second. So that means my shutter speed needs to be 150. And then let's say we're going to bring my ISO down to perhaps 800, maybe even less than that, because we know it's going to be really bright outside. So we say, okay, great. We're going to make this 100 as our ISO and a shutter speed of 150. We're going to go ahead and confirm that. And you guys are going to notice that the screen is almost completely blacked out. That's okay. And then we can go in here and we can take a look at our resolution and frame rate. So our frame rate again is at 24 frames per second, and we have a resolution of 4K at which is going to be your 16:9. Okay, so that's good. But in this lighting environment, this is super dark. So I'm going to show you this exact same setup outdoors and what these ND filters will do for the video. Y'all ready? Let's go outside and check it out. All right, guys, so we're outdoors now, and I'm going to raise this up a little bit just so you guys can see how overexposed everything is with the settings that we had. And we didn't change anything. We're still at 4K, 24 frames a second. And as far as our exposure, we're still at a 1/50 and ISO of 100, okay? So as you guys can see, everything is completely blown out. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to adjust by applying a few of the ND filters just so you guys can see what happens here. So let's start off with the lowest of the ND filters, which is going to be our ND8. So we're just going to pop the ND8 on, and you guys can see instantly, guys, we get a much better image coming off of this camera. So that's just to give you an idea, of how effective these are. And this is going to maintain our motion blur. It's going to help us with our resolution as well as a number of other factors that you want to be able to consider when you're using an action camera or drone or any other type of camera. All right. So let's just go ahead and go through the other ND filters just so you guys can get an idea. You guys see how fast that adjusted right back to a bright. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually start this camera to recording, and I have the ND16. So I'm going to start recording right now on this camera. So it is recording now, and I'm going to take the ND filter that we have here, and we're just going to put that on so you guys can see what that looks like. Now this is going to be it's going to be more underexposed because of the fact that it is the ND16. I'm going to take the ND16 off again, and we're going to pop the ND8 back on just to give you guys an idea what these two will look like. All right, as you guys can see now, there is a better exposure. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's what we want to see on the back of our screen. So ND filters, guys, are so important. Quality ND filters are a godsend. Now, as far as the CPL, what the CPL will do is it's going to adjust reflections. Now, you may not see that much of a color difference here because of the resolution and everything that we have set up. So I would have to go back in and adjust everything. So we could go back to auto if we wanted to for the resolution. But I just wanted you guys to see what this basically does. The CPL, it will remove reflections. So if this was glass or water or something like that, you could adjust this by rotating it until you get it right to the point where you need it so that you're able to see, through. And yeah, this is really nice. Okay. So in a nutshell, guys, what I'm trying to get across to you is that having CPLs, having ND filters is a must-have in almost every situation. If you're not shooting in auto, if you're setting up your camera for manual, which I always recommend, these are going to be your best friends. All right, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace. I'm out.